Hey there guys, this is Sam
And Justin.
at the Survival Review, and today we're going to be talking about the third movie in the Evil Dead series, Army of Darkness, or Bruce Campbell versus Army of Darkness.
As it says in the opening credits.
Yeah.
So, Army of Darkness just... the first two movies are about people in a cabin in the woods, kind of a similar plot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Army of Darkness has a plot that's a bajillion times different.
Yes. Extremely different. But it ties in with the ending to the second movie.
Yeah, it does tie in with the ending of the second one.
The ending of the second movie was Ash gets sucked into a portal, along with the demons, into medieval times.
Yeah, he gets sent back in time to medieval times.
So he's stuck in medieval times with his car, and his shotgun, and his chainsaw, and they think he's...
That's how the second movie ends.
Yeah, that's how the second movie ends. That's all you know. And that's where this one starts off. He falls from the sky, and a large group of men claim he's a demon for falling out of the sky, and they put him in chains.
Then there's the prophet who finds out that he's like the chosen one.
Exactly.
Who has to stop them from the Deadites.
Mm-hmm. And the Deadites being the demons from the previous movies, they're taking over this land, and Ash is the only one that can save them.
And so he has to go get the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead. He has to retrieve it, say the magic words, and save the day. But since it's Ash, a completely incompetent idiot, things don't go as planned.
Exactly.
See, that's the one thing that Bruce Campbell's character evolves in all three movies, and this is even though we said that in the last review, I actually kind of take that back. I mean, this is where he's more known for as Ash, because this is where he's more incompetent, more of an idiot.
True.
He's really not like that in the second one.
Yeah, the second one is where he's full out badass.
Yeah,
this is the one where he's silly.
Yeah.
And there's even more slapstick humor in this movie.
Even more one-liners.
Yeah. And that's what Ash is known for.
Yeah.
And that's what
that's what makes him an amazing character. Just that you're stuck with this idiot as a hero.
Yeah. This is your hero. You're stuck with him.
Yes.
And he's pretty much just making things worse.
Yes.
So his one job is go to this graveyard, find the Book of the Dead, read some incantation, and there you go. Yeah. Save the day, and they'll send him back to his own time.
Well,
he doesn't work out that way.
He forgets the words.
He forgets the words that he was supposed to say. He says them wrong and takes the book anyway.
Yeah.
That makes things
and
worse.
That leads to the whole movie, the whole movie getting started and all the bad guys coming after him. All because of that one mistake. Just
that one little mistake of not... If he had just gotten the words right, that would have been it. He would have been sent back to his own time, no problem.
We would have been done in a half an hour.
Exactly. But it's Ash. It doesn't work that way. He gets there. There are 3 books. That's confusing enough for him. He finally finds which one is the right one, mispronounces the words, and when he takes it back, an army of darkness.
There you go.
Just possessed bodies of people from the graveyard.
Even a possessed Ash clone.
Yes.
That's the main villain of the movie.
Yeah, that's another thing that happens earlier in the movie. Is he gets chased into a windmill and gets cloned from his shoulder. It's Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So there's an evil Ash.
Yeah.
And the good Ash.
And the evil Ash is running the crew of Deadites. So this movie does throw out a lot of the horror elements.
Yes, it's a lot more silly fun. Action.
Yeah. I know I've read a lot of people that actually don't like this movie, and I can see where they're coming from, just because compared to the first two, it's not horror.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Very different.
So I can understand why people wouldn't like it, but it's such an amazing movie.
It's such a fun movie.
Yes.
I've seen this movie dozens upon dozens of times, and it's never gotten old for me.
Last time I watched it 2 weekends in a row. I just felt like watching it. Watching it again a week after.
I've watched it multiple times within the same month, and I don't get tired of it at all.
You can't get tired of that movie. It's not gory, like
no,
at all.
Not at all, really.
Compared to the first two.
The only real creature effects are on Evil Ash, and in the beginning when he gets thrown into the dungeon.
Yeah, there's a little bit at the beginning there.
Which definitely, that scene feels a lot more like Evil Dead 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because this is the only, well, I mean, not counting the remake or anything, this is the only Evil Dead movie that actually has an R rating.
Yeah.
The other two are X ratings.
The other 1 and 2 are X-rated movies.
But it's because this one was a studio movie. Yeah. I think that's why, I could be wrong, but that's why they called it Army of Darkness and not Evil Dead 3, since Evil Dead 1 and 2 aren't like as well-known movies, and this was like a bigger studio production. I think that's the main reason why they changed it to Army of Darkness.
Yeah. But it works.
It works.
And
the whole climax is just a big action scene with Ash fighting off stop-motion skeletons, and it just looks awesome.
It's so ridiculous.
Stop-motion skeletons always look cool.
Yeah.
So
they look crazy.
Yeah.
And it's just really fun.
That's the climax. It's one huge giant action sequence.
Gigantic.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
Which shows how different it is from the first two movies.
Mm-hmm. It definitely has a bigger budget than the first two.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it's not just in a cabin.
There's actual sets and actors, a lot of them, you know.
There are a lot of other actors in this movie besides just 4 or 5 people like the previous two, and there are actually some really good actors. I don't know the name of the actor, but the actor who plays the prophet in it, and the actor who plays the main knight, and all the other people, and they're all really good.
And like usual, Ted Raimi pops in there every once in a while.
And he's great.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
There are 2 different endings to this movie.
Yes.
Depending on which cut you watch.
And they're vastly different.
Yeah.
They're not just like a couple different lines different. It makes you wonder, well, if they make an Evil Dead 4, which are they going to follow?
Yeah.
Because
the original ending is actually a cliffhanger ending. Mm-hmm. And it would have been, if there was for sure going to be like Evil Dead 4, like right after 3, then I would have liked that ending, because it would just continued the spiral of insanity of the series. Because the original ending, basically, he takes the potion to go to sleep and wake up in his time, in his own time.
And of course, since he's Ash, instead of taking the 4 drops of it or whatever it was, he overdoes it.
He oversleeps and wakes up in like a post-apocalyptic wasteland.
And it's a downer ending.
It's a downer ending, but it's in Evil Dead way. It's kind of funny.
It is, because it's really weird. It's such a downer ending, but it's only because Ash is such a moron. he counts and he goes 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I love that ending.
It's a cool ending if there was going to be an Evil Dead 4 like right away.
If there were going to be an Evil Dead 4, that would be really, really cool.
Because like I said, that's the escalation of insanity, you know? So from the cabin in the woods to medieval times to post-apocalyptic, it'd be awesome. But
the ending that most people are familiar with, which actually is really famous. It's got a famous line, and
it's an awesome ending.
It's a great ending. Yeah. It's awesome.
But it's a simpler. There's no cliffhanger for another one. Mm-hmm. It's just like a fun ending taking place at S-Mart,
where Ash works.
Yeah, and
it shows him back in the future. Him telling one of the other workers there, that's what happened to me. That's how I could have been king, but chose not to.
One, the worker being Ted Raimi.
Yeah, because he always pops in.
Yeah,
and he goes, "Yeah, right."
Yeah.
But then they hear something behind them, and it's a deadite in S-Mart.
So of course, it's just a fun little action sequence.
Yeah, it's just a fun little action scene of Ash getting his shotgun from the back and then getting the girl. Mm-hmm. That's it.
It's an awesome ending.
It's just Ash. It's a fun ending.
It's a great ending to this awesome trilogy.
Yeah, which someday may be a quadrilogy. Maybe.
There was the remake that came out last year,
which we've already talked about.
Already talked about, but and we just want to hear a quick opinion. We both actually really like it.
Yeah. We both really enjoyed it.
Surprisingly good. If you want more on that, watch our review from that.
Yep.
But that's the Evil Dead trilogy. Probably the best horror trilogy.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, out of 10.
10.
Well, let's see. 10 out of 10.
Good. Yeah.
No doubt about it.
That's really the only horror trilogy I could think of that I could give all 3 movies a 10.
The perfect trilogy. Very
Really.
vast and crazy trilogy.
Absolutely.
But definitely one that, if you haven't seen it and you're a horror fan, what?
You're a disappointment.
Yes.
Go watch it if you haven't seen Army of Darkness or the
Mhm.
other 2.
I will say just fair warning, just know what to expect going in, especially when it comes to Army of Darkness.
Yes.
Because it's such a different movie from any movie out there.
Don't think of Army of Darkness as a horror film.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it's not.
But
But it is a great film.
Maybe in like the $5 horror section, like at Walmart, like around Halloween time. But it's really not a horror movie. You know what I mean? It's slapsticky, it's actiony, it's goofy.
It's fun.
It's fun and just awesome and quotable and just great.
Everything about it is fantastic, just like the rest of the series.
Just like the whole entire trilogy.
Yep.
So that's the Evil Dead trilogy. We finally covered one of the series we probably talk about the most on this channel and bring up a lot. That and Halloween are probably the 2 franchises we bring up a lot.
He's the Halloween one, I'm the Evil Dead one.
Exactly.
And that's about all we've got to say about the Evil Dead trilogy.
We'll be back with more horror movie reviews after this. So until then,
see you guys later.